Paul tells Titus to talk about the proper doctrine, and doctrine is a lesson. And there are different kinds of doctrine, like fake and real. He tells him to lead the young to the right path and to preach to them. Paul tells him to make himself an example to others. Titus was a man with initiative, and that means he was someone that he took things into his own hands. He didn't need anybody telling him what to do. He was an entrepreneur, which meant like he was always coming up with new ideas and creating new stuff. And he had to work with both Gentiles and Jews, which made it really hard for him because the Jews were they were like really religious, and like they did a lot of traditional things, like they would circumcise their babies when they like 8 days after they were born and take them to like present them to the pastors. And that was like a tradition they had, and since Titus wasn't circumcised, that was like a problem for them. And how can we apply what we learn to our lives is
being like Paul, like his qualities, which she said, being like starting new stuff and not having like people to like tell us what to do. And as well as the main idea of chapter 3 says, it's always good to give, but like it doesn't exempt us from like going to hell, because like we could do the right things, but like have in mind that it's not always about doing like other stuff to wash away what we're actually doing. It, like if you know you're living a double life or something like that.
And like if you can't do something, like if you think it's gonna be hard, to just like put Jesus and God into it, because that was like really hard for Titus to preach in a town full of like all those bad people, and it was hard for him, like to try to teach them the right ways and guide them in the right way and stuff.
And it's good that even though he was around so many like bad people, the people from Crete, he managed to like control himself and to be a good image of a real Christian.
Just to add on to what Nerish was saying, what she was saying about even though, like how back then it was like a certain way, and what's like right from wrong, but you choose to do the right thing, and that's what matters to God, that you're going by what he says, his word, even though things are different in this day and age. Just because you do one bad thing doesn't condemn you to hell. You just have to go to Jesus and ask him for forgiveness, but you don't continue doing the same mistake over and over again.
Also, like Titus is an example for us, because he's like telling us to be good and be different from others and not following others' steps. Just because you're around them doesn't mean you have to be exactly like them.
That's it.